order. It's April 10th, 2024, and this is the meeting of the Carbondale Parks and Rec Commission. We are an advisory commission made up of volunteers to assist and consult with town staff and make recommendations to our elected town officials. My name is Rose Rosello. I have an amazing email, and I have the privilege of serving as the commission's vice chair for this year. I am joined by volunteers, Chair Hollis Sutherland. We have Ashley Manick, Leslie Curie, Susan Ray, Drew Sorensen, John Williams, and our youth, Eli Cohen. We're joined by Carbondale staff, Eric Brenlinger, Parks and Rec Director, Margaret Donnelly, Community Center and Rec Programs Manager, and our scribe extraordinaire, Kay McDonald, Board of Commissions Clerk. And we're going to say a big thank you. I'm sure Eric has more to say to Luis Yanes, who has been our Board of Trustees liaison for several years. And this will be his last meeting, and we'll have a new liaison voted in or sworn in, and then become part of our commission next time. I welcome anyone who may be watching live via recording, and thank you for participating in your local government. As a commission, we strive to serve the town of Carbondale by setting aside personal biases and looking at what is best for our community. We honor diverse opinions, promote inclusivity, and endeavor to keep our discourse civil and respectful. With that, we'll get started. Has anybody had a chance to review the minutes? And they're over there as well. And if they have, they could make a motion to approve them.
Make a motion to approve the March 10th minutes.
Does anybody else want a second?
I'll second.
Perfect. Eli is seconding. And all those in favor, I suppose? All right, there we go. Perfect. So today on the agenda, we have, let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh, here we go. Anybody here? Nope, everybody's on the agenda, so that's great. Nobody's logged in to say anything? Nope. Perfect. Then we'll begin with our action items. So we have one applicant. We have some open spots that are going to be coming up because Eli, you're a senior? Is that right? All right. Well, thank you. That's been amazing. We have one applicant for the youth position, Liza Logan. So we can look through that. And we also have 3 open spots. So John, Susan, and Leslie will need to let us know if they want to reapply. And that will be decided in June by the trustees. So we need to get those kind of answers in by May. Anything else you would like to add on that?
Yeah, if we know now if you guys are interested, I mean, you can, sleep on it or no pressure right now. If you aren't interested, let us know, prior to meetings, and then, they are putting out some applications in for open position. And so then we'll know how many we have.
Perfect. Or if anybody has any friends, people that would be good in the committee, we try to keep it diverse, but get the word out and let people know that there might be some open spots and it'd be interesting to get new people. I say that with excitement of keeping it coming. I'm so excited to see the new faces we have.
Hi. And we have one right now, alternate position open. So you guys.
So 4 total positions. Yep. And can someone specifically apply for the alternate position?
If the 3 commissioners are interested, then that person we'd say, are you interested in that?
Or if one of the commissioners was interested in the alternate versus being a full-time?
That's true. That could happen.
Okay.
If anybody's interested.
That could be a potential. So for those of you interested. Great. Anybody want to say anything about Leslie or anything to Eli? We appreciate you, Eli. When's your last meeting with us?
Next month, I believe is the last meeting because the terms are changing.
And yeah, June. Yeah.
Perfect. And then you're off to Boulder. Nice. Keeping it local. Your parents are gonna be so pumped. Nice.
Take me out.
Bye. Perfect. Okay, on to the next.
Louis, let me know that he does have another commitment. He's got a little tiny film festival happening pretty soon, so.
I don't know if
you
anybody's
know.
heard of it.
So he's, needs to run, but, just want to make it publicly known that we want to thank you for your service, Louise, and the many, many years of your volunteerism to the Parks and Rec Department and to the commission too. So thanks for all your help, and of course at the trustee level too. Thanks for all your help make the town better.
Thank you, and it's been a pleasure seeing this commission, everything that you've all really managed to push forward, and obviously, Eric, your team. I mean, this pool project doesn't happen without the folks who are here, so I know there's still a lot of work to be done, but congratulations to all of you, and it's been my pleasure to be part of this. Thank you.
Hey.
Thanks. Where's the cupcakes?
Did not make any. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Leslie's gonna start off and tell us a little bit about the integrated weed mitigation efforts and Rams Day. Oh, you said you would. You don't have to. Eric can.
I love what you brought, so.
Liza, are we?
I asked if anybody had anything they wanted to say about it. Did you have anything you wanted to go over? We're good? Okay, perfect.
As long as there's no opposition, then.
If there's any
yeah.
opposition or anybody else that we want to put forward, we still don't have to make that decision until May, so we still have time for more applicants.
I was gonna say, yeah, are we expecting more?
Misha's her brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there might be.
There could be, yeah.
Eric, I'll let you start and then I'll pipe in.
Sure. So Rams Day is we've utilized Rams Day as a volunteerism, with the high school to do some weed mitigation in some of our parks. Leslie came to me and said, hey, what if we, because they've done a lot of various activities,
Right.
that day all over the place. And she came to me and said, what if we utilize the entire school student body to really just manually attack our noxious weeds in our public parks? And so I thought, wow, that could be an awesome, couple hours with a very concerted effort, and we think the right time of year when that stuff's coming up, and it is coming up. We've done some tours already and it's starting to come up, and get a lot done for our integrated weed management plan, which one of our tools in that toolbox is manual extraction. And that's hard to manage, because we have acres and acres and acres of parks, and sometimes it gets ahead of you on that style of management for weeds. Because they come up at different times every year. And what's been nice is we've seen, because we've been doing the integrated weed management plan for a while, we have seen the benefits of manual extraction. And when we've gone back to a place where we had a problem, it has diminished over time. You have to have patience to see that, but it has diminished over time. Those seed bases in the soil, and just the efforts of not letting additional seeds land in that soil. So it has worked. So I'm really excited about this Rams Day effort. It's also an education piece, for the students to realize, why are we doing this? Well, we're doing it because we don't use chemical-based herbicides in our town parks. And so it's a good process for them to realize, what their efforts are helping us accomplish. So that's what's going to happen. We're involved with CRMS. They have a scholarship work day. They're going to be working in some other parks that are not within kind of walking distance from the high school. And they're going to be working up on Red Hill. And so we have one day where all of our, almost all of our public park lands that have a weed issue are going to receive some treatment. So I'm pretty excited about it.
It is May
Yeah,
17th.
Friday, May 17th.
And Eric, I can share this slideshow with you too.
It was with him, or could be. And then have you guys looked into partnering with like Ace or Lowe's or anything like that for tools? So everybody has their own little, I don't know.
Yeah, Les, maybe you can just kind of explain your flyer and kind of what your vision was of this.
Sure.
Yeah, because I like your vision.
I just gave Eric the flyer. So back in the fall, we did everyone in the school kind of applied for money through the GoFundMe. And so I've got about 200 hand weeding tools through GoFundMe. So we have a good amount of the tools, and we figure kids would partner up, to use them because they're going to get tired. They're not used to working. So. So they are going to get tired. So we'll partner them up. They've got the tools. What we don't have a lot of are gloves because I maxed out the amount with buying all the weeding tools. So we do have some, but we're asking for others and hoping people will come with, used garden gloves that they don't want to put back on their hands. But when you're dealing with thistles, you don't care what you have on your hands, right? To pull it out. So.
And we'll supply some too, because we always, with all of our other volunteer weed mitigation efforts, we always need a lot of gloves. So we'll supply some too if we see a shortfall there, so.
And so we feel like we have most things. I've got a box at RVR asking for help. I just gave Eric the flyer. When we get, probably next week when I have some time, I'll go over to ACE and go by the co-op and just see if they want to donate some. I mean, every pair
Even if
counts.
they donate their discount, a lot of the time, instead of asking people to just donate, I'll ask them to donate their wholesale. So you
Ah.
can buy them at wholesale
Oh,
from them.
That might be nice. We don't really have any money for it, but
Yeah.
but that's okay. We'll figure it out. And what else did you?
And
want
just
me to cover?
explain this, yeah.
Oh, okay.
this process.
So we have two educational pieces coming, and the first is a PowerPoint that I'm struggling sharing with Eric. He has the old one, but now we have it in Spanish and English. And it just goes through why volunteer, and we talk about the purpose of volunteering and why it's good for your soul. And then we go through and we talk about the different weeds that we're trying to attack with pictures of what they look like before they flowered and after they flowered, and talk about how to take out the weeds. It just, and then we've got a map with all the parks on it. And then we're asking kids to bring gloves, hats, water bottles, snacks, sunglasses, things like that. So, fingers crossed, high schoolers can be tricky. I'm trying to talk it up with all my seniors because they kind of lead the school. So if my seniors are excited about it, the other kids will get excited about it. And then, so we made these cute little lanyards. They're very, very cool. They have the weeds and they have little pictures so you know what you're picking. And it's also your ticket to Rams Day, because what happens at Rams Day is that a lot of kids wait until we volunteered to come and have lunch and do the games. So I think that Rams Day is more about doing the volunteer work. And then if you want to leave, no problem. So we have these lanyards, and you can't participate in the afternoon if you don't have your lanyard.
We don't get a lanyard unless you volunteer.
Unless you volunteer.
So they'll come with their little dirty nails to prove that, or
They'll have that lanyard on
they'll have
them.
them on it. Okay.
Yeah, and no lanyard, no fun.
So they're checking in with somebody. How are you assigning?
So we have a class called tutorial, and each tutorial has a group of students and a teacher with that students. So that's how I grouped all of the people. So the 9th grade tutorial will be at the nature park with an administrator because it's a bigger class. So I have more hands on that one. The seniors will be out at Gateway, and then the sophomores and juniors, one has Eric,
North Face Bike Park.
North Face Park, and then the one across the highway.
Yeah,
Noosh.
Nooch, yeah.
So we have 4 parks that we're concentrating on. And Eric's generously saying that he's going to give the tutorial with the most bags of weeds, some guest passes to the rec center. So
Ooh.
there's a little bit of,
I think the
Yeah.
groups of
Incentive.
20 or.
incentive. And I'm sure I can't share this PowerPoint right now, but it's
Yeah.
really, it's all dialed.
I would love to
Fingers
see some
crossed.
pictures when you get back.
Oh,
Maybe
yes.
take some pictures, and
Yeah.
have you told the papers know about this and everything?
No, Eric, that's Eric's job.
Okay. I love good press.
That's Eric's job.
I bet they're always looking for something good to take a picture of, and kids digging around volunteering. So always. a good idea.
I'm hoping it'll be fabulous.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so we we still, it's from 9:30 to like 11:30, so a 2 hour, kind of volunteer effort there. Is that still the same?
Yes,
Okay.
it's about 2.5. It'll take some of them about 15 minutes to get down there and get
To
back.
to this.
Susan, did you get to see it, the tag?
Yeah.
Did you want to see it?
So if anybody wants to volunteer in one of these locations and just kind of,
I would be on
direct
a field trip.
kids to yes, to which weeds we want eradicated, that would be great. So just let us know if you do want to volunteer that May 17th, 9:30 to 11:30, and we can sign you a spot.
And they're really fun. I mean, they can be kind of painful sometimes, but they're really fun.
The children or the weeds or both?
The children, the weeds are gonna be painful, but we'll get rid of them, so.
That'll be great 2 hours. It goes so fast.
Perfect, great. Anything else on weed day? Nope. Perfect. Oh, 420, missed it by 4 days. Anyways. Okay, Carbondale Aquatics Center. Nope, did I miss it? Nope, that's right. Consideration for renaming park facilities, 45-day public comment period.
Yeah, so on the docket right now is the start of a renaming of the new facility to the Carbondale Aquatics Center. And that's a plural aquatics because there's multiple bodies of water in the design. And so this meeting would be the day we start the 45-day public comment period to rename the new pool facility, so.
And there's not like a naming rights, put, half
No,
$1,000,000 down and we'll name it.
Yeah, no,
Whatever you want.
at the trustee level, they decided that was not gonna be offered as far as a naming of the entire facility. There'll be elements within the facility so there'll be some naming rights opportunity for donations.
Would we turn it down if someone was like, I would like to donate this, but I want to name it after my daughter or something?
We would hopefully find a spot within the facility
Got
that
it.
they would align with, whether that be, oh, well, you could buy a lane, or you could be the person who bought our diving board or our spa or our solar voltaics, or, so there's gonna be a lot of opportunity, and that's coming out of a list of our adults, that are not
Right.
included in the base budget project right now, so that's how that would work. But this is really going from the John M. Fleet, pool that's been there to a new aquatic facility, so a new name for the new aquatics facility.
So we don't have to keep it
Susan, microphone.
we don't have to keep it the Fleet pool.
No, I included the resolution that was created in 2013 that allows something like this to happen, a renaming of a public facility. And so it kind of walks you through that process and how it gets decided. And so in 45 days, it would come back in front of the commission. If we have any opposition, that would be brought up at that time. We would discuss it and then vote on a recommendation to take up to the trustees for a final approval, so.
The CAC? Oh, there's like the ARC and we'll be the CAC.
Is any of this different from what it used to be?
The process?
Yeah,
No, I mean, this resolution and this process was created in 2013, so it hasn't changed since
Yeah.
that time.
okay.
Yeah, as far as the process. Yeah, we'd be relying on that kind of, voted on and vetted process to make a name change.
So we're voting to accept this name, the Carbondale Aquatics Center?
We're
we doing?
not voting now. We're just, this is gonna start the public
just
comment
putting it out
period,
there.
so we
Okay.
could discuss it right now as a group,
Okay.
but we're not voting until it comes after the 45-day process.
Okay.
so.
It sounds impressive, I like it.
Yeah, we're trying to do.
Perfect. So nothing's needed on this, more of just an announcement. So I guess we can
That's gonna be on you, so.
keep moving forward to the aquatics facility design and construction update. Woo! Design documents and P and Z zoning, lots of ampersands in that one. And that's gonna be you, Eric, as well?
Yes, let's see here. So, yeah, I included a couple things in your packet. So the entire, design document set, that's, out for pricing right now. So the design document set goes, it's a more detailed and refined, look at what we're actually trying to build. And so the contractor is able to take those designs and take them out and get competitive bids on those and be able to come back to us with a much more refined pricing structure for those designs. So that's what's going on right now. And then and I did include kind of the renderings that were produced as part of that process. So everybody can take a look at those. The design team, did a good job of showing, what and explaining what was base bid project, what we can afford with the 11.6 million. And then what was an add alt or an alternate and above and beyond that number. And so we hope to, utilize that process and that technique of saying, here's where we are and here's, what we want. And so that'll help with our capital campaign. It'll also, help with some of our granting processes that I can talk about, here also. And it'll, just give people a good picture of what we're trying to do, right? And so they're actually, the design documents have all those add alternates included in the design because it's much easier to get that design approved and then not build something than to get a design approved through the process and then try to add to it at a later date. So that's the technique we're utilizing. And the right now, what's happening tomorrow night is the P&Z is looking at the a new zoning of that area. When we started to get into this process, we realized that the zoning of that land was not appropriate for an aquatics facility. And so it was zoned open space, and all the setbacks that are existing in open space wouldn't accommodate an aquatics facility there. And the use of an open space parcel. So it's changing from open space to public facilities zoning, and that will allow us to build a pool there. And so it's a correction of something that never got figured out in the past in 1974, 75. That's where it was zoned. That's how they did it back then. So it's really just a reset and a correction of that. They'll also be looking at a preliminary site plan and approving that also. So we think that it's not a contentious project. It is bonded. Design is imminent. The construction is imminent, and the voters voted for it to get the bond to build it. So we feel like and the trustees have approved the existing design. So we feel like it's just a process, but you never know. It's a public process, so you never know what happens. But we feel like there's good success will come out of that and move the project forward. So it's a needed zoning change to move the project forward. So.
I don't have a computer, so I'm looking at my phone here. Is there a list of adults? Or is it just kind of, how can we tell what's in the plan and what's part of the wishes and hopes and dreams?
Some of the, let me make sure. Yeah, so on the, it's called, what's it called? Design. Yeah, design documents.
Yep.
I'm not seeing that page that was like the finance. I was looking for that. The finance page had all the adults on it,
So
but I'm not
it's-
seeing that.
If you might not, you're not gonna see this on your phone, but what's it?
PDF page 135.
35.
And on the drawings, the actual renderings, everything's numbered, and so it gives you what's in base project and what's not on the drawings themselves.
Eric, do we have a price of what the whole thing costs with all of the adults? Or we don't know that because we don't know how much the contingency has to be.
Well, we don't know that because that design document is not priced out yet by the contractors. That's gonna give us that kind of better read on what some of those adults are actually gonna cost. And a better read on, you know, and a check and a really good look at what the base project's gonna build too, so. Right, so, cause that's being priced out also.
So Rose, page 20 of,
The adults.
okay,
5.
Okay.
Is there something different on page 20?
I'm looking at,
It's all this.
is it the same thing?
Okay. And then diving deeper into what these specific things are, like fire suppression seems like something that would just be included, or is this like a fancier fire suppression? Or are these questions for the smaller group?
The fire suppression is specialty fire suppression, so we can store more chemicals
Yeah.
on site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. I was like, thought that would be part of it.
No.
Or like the bus stop, is that something that we can reach out and partner with RAFTA?
Yes, yep. And they, you know, just some of the design changes lately, like with the bus stop was they had it kind of connected to the building and we said, no, let's pull it off the building. So it is a true adult. It's because when you're building the building, if you don't know if you're gonna build that, you know, and it's connected to the building, then that creates a problem, right? So we pulled it off the building just to have it be an option.
And then it says includes, which means it's it's not an adult, like, so we're right now, we're with the spa within our budget.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, it was the spa plumbing was always gonna be part of the base budget, but not the above ground stuff. So so we were able to figure out how to get that included in the base budget with contingency work, so. And the renderings really show you, you know, with the add alternates and without some of the add alternates. So it gives you a good visual of with the trellis, you know, without the trellis, and how we're looking at designing it both ways, you know, and being ready for, you know, with additional funding. We'll know a lot more. And the contractor will be able to give us a guaranteed maximum price for the facility after we excavate. So there's some big questions on and why we have a large contingency now is due to the questionable excavation and what's in the ground there. When we did our soil samples there, they didn't get down very far. And we would have had to, and when they were doing that, we were in operations of the pool summer use. And so, you know, where they needed to do, they would needed to drill, you know, a lot. And they would have been in the deck, right, where, you know, we had summer operations going. So they drilled in certain spots on the property, but didn't get down very far because they would have required other equipment and just disrupting our process, so of operations. So that is an unknown as far as, you know, what they're gonna run into with the excavation. If we get through the excavation and there's not a lot of contingency spent at that time, then some of those adults will come into that discussion. Okay, are we ready to spend some of this contingency on these adults, and which priority adults are we gonna spend them on? So that's the process, just so everybody understands where we are with the project, so. And we'll know a lot more pricing information here at the end of this month, so.
Eric, I'm in communication with the project coordinator for the Forest Service. And I asked him both for my personal interest in the geology of the area, but also for the pool information, if I could get in and see when they do their deepest part of their excavation.
Okay.
So I'll let you know.
Oh, that'd be neat, yeah, because yeah, they're moving forward on that project, and yeah, and we might get some information from that, yeah, on what to expect. So that's a good plan. I like that.
Because if it's pretty uniform as far as they go, then we can expect it to be uniform where we dig to.
What about, I don't see like environmental friendly pumps or the heating systems and things like that we were talking about. Are those? They're on the,
Yeah.
I just don't
so-
see them on the, like, listed.
Okay, yeah, that's part of the base budget, you know, that's not
Right.
at all.
Right, but this
Um,
says base product stuff, so I just didn't know. Seems really interesting.
Yeah, so I've got a little bit of information on that. So we have two grants that have already been submitted, for this project. One is the, FMLD grant, the Garfield County FMLD grant. So that we'll find out about that soon, hopefully, and by the end of April. We just put in last Friday the Colorado Energy Office Public Building Electrification Grant. We combined that grant with the needs of this building and the needs of the electrification of the bathhouse over at the pool. And so we felt like we talked to the granting sources and they gave us a pretty strong grant, they thought, to combine two buildings. And so we're getting, two birds, one stone there. And so we hired a grant writer to help us with that and an energy consultant to help us to produce that grant, because it was a big, heavy lift that I did not have the expertise to even look at it. I mean, they're speaking some different language there in that grant. And but it looks talking to all the people involved, clear people that work with Colorado Energy Office a lot and do, are involved in some of these grants, it feels pretty good. Because I think we created a good grant. We qualified in certain levels of low income that they requested for this granting money. And so we checked a lot of the boxes that the grant was asking for. And so we feel really good about our chances on that grant. And so it's a $600,000 grant, about 350 would go to the pool. So
Does that count towards the money that we're looking for in the fundraising? And that bites off of those chunks? The 1.6 or?
yeah, this would fund, some of the electrical equipment and needs. And so that will help the base project bid, right? So it'll always help, right?
Okay.
Um,
It's not
and-
in consideration already is all I'm asking. Like, it's not, we're hoping we get these grants and then we need 1.6. It's like these grants would cut off.
It would help, yeah. And exactly how much, depends on how much we have in base bid of those boppers and big boppers, those air source heat pumps. And also, just there's a couple things we still don't know, that we're still researching. And one is the cost of bringing new electrical service with Excel to the project. Because we need a new transformer and we need 3-phase power with these new air source heat pumps. So right now, there's single phase power there. So we need a whole electrical upgrade that's not part of the base bid and not part of the base project, not part of our at all money either, not part of the 1.7 either, 1.6. I mean, so that's still kind of a little bit of an unknown. We're working on that. And Excel doesn't give you a quote until you do your process, which is put in the application for demo, because that's a cost to them. You got to demo and turn off the power first, and then you put in your application for new service to that site. And so those are two separate applications and two separate costs to it.
And do we know if the town's planning on doing anything, or sometimes you can join in if maybe there's a cable company that's going to be digging something, or there's multiple companies that are doing something at once that you can pair with, or is this more P and Z sort of, not planning and zoning? What would it, but it falls under a different place than Parks and Rec because it's
Public
more in the
works, yeah.
streets, public works,
streets
sort
and
of a
public
budget and such, right?
Yeah, and so we won't know that until we, see where we're pulling that power, where Excel wants us to pull that power from. And whether that's out of a manhole or a pole.
Right.
So we don't know that yet, so.
And the box, we're not gonna get a box on the corner blocking the.
That is the worst blocker. Are you talking about the city market box? That's the worst one
Right.
ever. And then I feel like we had this discussion last time, but it had something to do with whether our lines were above ground or below ground already currently. What was? That was tacos. What was our answer? Do we have lines above ground or is it mostly below
For Chacos,
Yeah.
they're above ground,
or above ground?
but we want to put them underground.
Well, there we go. Combine them up.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
I keep bringing it up and I'd like to hear other people's comments. A little bit of work I did showed, it takes the plans way back to try to consider this at all, but just in light of some of these other expenses. In a home pool, if you put in a diving board versus a slide, you save about 25% of the water, which is a certain amount of concrete. I mean, it's just like an electricity. It's like goes into the whole cost of running the pool, building the pool and running the pool. And so do you have numbers, Eric, back from when the survey was done? That was all through COVID. You know, I remember there being like this, like, if you choose 2 out of 3 of these things, you know, vote for what features do you want in the pool? And was there a strong call for a diving board over a slide in that survey? I never saw the results. I don't know.
Yeah, you can find that just right on our rec website. We have all of our master plans out on the rec website, so you can go
You can
look
look at
through
that
even
survey.
appendixes out there. We loaded all that stuff up
Okay.
there.
Like
So
the numbers on what people voted, like.
yeah.
27.
And we had, you know, remembered that happened in 2019, 2020. So we had with design workshop. And so we had a lot of public outreach that was going to happen and could not happen because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so we really threw all of our energy and efforts into a public survey online. And we had the best survey results we've ever received on that, and what could be considered statistically valid survey results due to our population and the amount of people that replied to the survey. So that data, you know, is good, and it you know, it's very data.
And the diving board and the climbing wall were the top features.
They I'd have to go back and look and read, but they did they had a little summary, and yeah, and those received more votes than other stuff. Yep. I have to go back and look in the exact, you know, numbers on that, but that is available in that master plan and shows you that you know, and then we actually did if you recall, we did a adult survey and a kids survey also. So we had kids survey questions, and that's where a lot of that data came from, was the
I just
kids
know
survey.
personally, I never use a diving board and I always use a slide. And I just don't, you know.
Yeah. There's a vision, you know, of our 6 lanes, having a swim team, having swim meets. This all existed before at the pool, you know, and kind of, you know, it hasn't existed there for quite a while. And, you know, having diving meets too. I mean, part of the swim team is having a diving team, you know, and so other opportunities to actually, you know, create that opportunity for people around here. So.
Is there a diving coach? Is that you?
I have been a diving coach, but no, but if the need's there, we'll be able to fill it, you know, so.
Margaret, what do you think? As someone who has spent a minute or 2 at the pool watching people either jump on diving boards or use slides. I mean, we had a little baby slide versus like a let's get after it. But I suppose a let's get after it slide would probably cost quite a bit more than what we're looking for the diving board too.
I think all amenities fade in and out. Some are popular one week and some are popular another week. And so if you can't get them all, somebody has to make a decision.
Slides need the same depth. No.
So our, you know, there's a potential, you know, we had to make some choices, right? But there's a potential for an addition of a slide in the rec pool, right? Because the rec pool has a 5-foot depth. You need at least 4 feet to have a fairly, you know, good slide as far as an entry into the pool. So you need at least 4 feet of depth there. So yeah, that could be an adult. So.
Anyone? Okay, perfect. Designing looks great. I know there's a ton of work going into it, so it's super exciting seeing it come to fruition. I think that's a real word. And it looks beautiful. I'm so excited about the tiling outside and there are some things that I do really like about where it's come. So thanks everybody for all the work that we've done through that. Do you want to get right into I guess we've already talked about some of the granting, but we have a visitor today that can help us to kind of talk through some of the upcoming fundraising events in the campaign. Cynthia?
Yep. So what I had, Cindy, just so you know, in the packet is the commission update from the 4th of April. And then your organizational chart, how you laid that out.
Yeah, I wondered if you've all looked at the org chart or if maybe we can screen share it? Is that?
It's on page 137 of the packet.
And I developed that. I'm a little leery that public eyes might be on it just because it's kind of personal about who's giving at what level in order to be asking at a certain level. But it's to help the people who have volunteered to be on the campaign cabinet have a sense of the timing of their particular workload. Everyone's coming to a monthly meeting, or everyone's invited to a monthly meeting. And then the activity of soliciting for certain size gifts spread out across the time for giving intense focus to any given area. A few of us have been giving attention to potential six-figure gifts. In addition to the grants that Eric was talking about, there have been visits with two different individuals who are considering six-figure gifts. Don't have a decision yet. And then we have for instance, we want to approach the Valley View Hospital Foundation to see if they have an interest in making a grant and working out a collaborative arrangement with Parks and Rec to have access to the spa for therapy, since they have that new facility near City Market for physical therapy. The big event to which everyone's invited on Thursday, May 16th at Flying Dog Barn. The invitations are due back from the printer this Friday. People are in the campaign cabinet meeting was postponed from last Monday night to next Tuesday at noon to address and stuff and stamp and seal these envelopes so we can get them in the mail. And that event is designed to have people there with some giving capacity hear directly from the town mayor, the town manager, the architect, and the landscape architect. So they feel well-informed. They feel like sort of insiders to the process because they're hearing it directly from those who designed it. It won't be a group ask at that occasion. It will be, the fundraising campaign is at least 1.6 million. We're not saying it's a campaign of 1.6, it's at least 1.6 because of the adults. And people will be asked to consider giving at their most generous level when they're asked. So they won't be asked at that event, but they'll be prepared to be asked. We are short on people who are prepared to be in the community asking others face to face. So I'm still looking for anyone who wants to volunteer in that role. Because that's always the most effective kind of ask is face to face. And putting one's volunteer time into it. And I guess I would just say, are there any questions? Because I did put an update in the report. We have 3 5-figure gifts for a total pledge amount so far of 50,000. It's very modest compared to the goal, but it's a start. And very appreciative of commission and cabinet members who have made those pledges voluntarily. So, any questions?
You guys are quiet tonight. Come on, people.
We are.
Ask some questions. What you got? We're so excited. Thank you. I don't think you guys understand the amount of back work that this woman does. I get a couple calls a day here and there, and then she says, oh, I've been working for 4 hours for the couple of hours that I could put in. So I'm just so appreciative of everything that I've learned so far. And following what you've been doing. It's
And
amazing.
before we're out in the community asking, I will supply that volunteer solicitor training that you've been looking forward to. We haven't done that yet, but it's always really helpful for people to learn how to do it because it's not a natural thing. We weren't raised to talk to other people about giving away their money. So, but it's a learned skill. And I like teaching it and people have found it beneficial. So we'll.
Talk more about what you were saying for asking for more volunteers. I would assume that's more at the lower levels of giving that you need a little more legwork or more people involved. You know,
Yeah,
what
because
might
there's
that, is that knocking on doors, picking up the phone, all the above?
I wouldn't
Events?
imagine knocking on doors, but I would say it's a matter of having the prospect list and anyone who's willing to volunteer to look at the prospect list and select 4 or 5 people that they're willing to call. When we get to the 4-figure gifts and below, $1,000 and below, it would be letters sent with an ask and then social media as well.
I'll volunteer to help in some capacity. I'd love your training and
Actually, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. I'll be sure to let you know when the training schedule, it'll be possibly at the May cabinet meeting. But we'll also be doing last minute preparations for the event then too, so.
And I want to make sure that we have all of your current updated email addresses and I have all the physical addresses that Hollis sent out in 2023. So if anybody has changed, I would need to know that. Otherwise, I do have them and can get them to us since I'm addressing. I feel like I
Great.
can get them to the right place, but I don't think I have yours and I would love to have yours. Okay, I don't know if you want to come, but
I have a tree board meeting that.
Okay. Perfect.
I think this commission, not to speak for everyone, I think we're able to contribute at different points when you need more hands on deck. And it's just to make sure you're asking. I think committing to something over the course of a year is hard, but as you have needs, we're here.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Ashley.
Once upon a time, I don't know, are you applying for grants or is that another group within Parks and Rec?
I'm working closely with Malcolm McMichaels, who's also working with Eric for that, so that in addition to the government grants that he has so far worked on, grant proposals, I should say, he will be helping with applications to foundations, private foundations, to companies that have a grant proposal process. So yeah, he's going to keep doing that.
And because I thought you mentioned, I was excited to hearing about a Gates Foundation.
Yeah, that's due in
That kind of
September,
thing.
so we're looking at that and we've spoken to them about how we align with their mission and it looks pretty good.
And what kind of money is?
That-
Well, it's not Bill Gates. There's a Colorado foundation, that's the Gates Family Foundation.
Oh, the rubber gates.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that one.
okay.
And it's, less than 100,000, but it's,
Okay.
could be close to 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
money.
It's money, yep. Money.
I would add this might happen closer to the pool opening, but if you guys went into the schools and kind of drummed up some excitement within the kids, and they come home, Mom, Dad, they're building a new pool. So excited. I think that would be an effective way to kind of build engagement in the community going to the schools because people that want to go there the most are the kids.
That's
And that
great.
might happen, next school year.
We are going to invite some of the schools have actually reached out with interest of donation because a lot of them will go all the way to Glenwood to the rec center there for their schools. So there's definitely, we're going to be inviting contacts. So if anybody has contacts of anybody from any of the schools, I've worked on some of them, but always happy to get others. Whenever I've talked about it, people get pretty excited and do want to donate. And that's a really good idea is how can we pull the schools in for a Rams Day or whatever we can do to get more people excited.
Get the kids excited to go
Yep.
home and talk to their parents. I love
Yep.
that idea, Eli.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's good, Eli. We also have, our June 1st Friday. So June 7th is going to be a kind of a public awareness of the Let's Make a Splash campaign. And so that's gonna be the opening of the doors to the greater public to know what we're doing, we're gonna educate them on the process. So we're gonna have a booth down at the June 1st Friday. June 1st Friday is gonna be a very, very busy. There's the
Wilderness
Wilderness
Workshop.
Workshop is gonna do a parade down Main Street. And their events over in the park. There's an opening at the launch pad. We're gonna have a band on our stage down in 4th Street Plaza Park or Chacos Park. And so we'll be doing some public outreach there and just letting the public know. That this campaign's real, show them, big renderings of what we're trying to build and let them know of where we are with our fundraising needs. And so love to have some commission members there for that also. So yeah, I'm participating in that.
Do you have the time frame for what time you're specifically looking for people, or if we can get out like a sign up, even if it's like
Yeah,
1
yeah.
hour per hour?
Yeah,
We have specific,
bet,
then
yeah.
people can fill in the full on slots or whatnot.
yeah.
We're gonna have something on Main Street or?
Yeah, we'll be in the 4th Street Plaza. There'll be other, booths there too. But that's far enough away from where we're putting the band to where you can actually talk to somebody. So that's the plan there. Yeah.
And do we have a budget for that, for swag or swag? Everybody loves a freebie.
Everyone likes to see massive pool floaties.
Yep. So we're trying to be creative with that. We want it to be obviously a pool themed
Yeah.
event, right? So we're any ideas, send them our way, because we need to get a little creative on how to draw people into that booth and talk to them about our new pool.
I've got a couple of fun things going on.
Yes,
in
yeah, I
here.
figured you
I
did.
was gonna say, I feel like a dunk tank is a necessary item here.
That's
Tax for that.
That's where my mind went too.
Me too.
It will not be snowing on Main Street.
And you got your lifeguards there, because you gotta have your lifeguards if you're doing the
Yep.
dunk tank.
And there's a trend right now on TikTok of a pull up movie or something like that, where everybody comes and brings their own pools and then you sit in the pool and like watch a movie. Things like that could be fun.
Okay, yeah, we'll brainstorm that.
Yeah.
But we want it to be a fun event. We want it to be a draw. It's really, our first Friday. We just had our first Friday meeting today. It's gonna be very active. Up and down Main Street in Soapers Park, all the way down at Marble has a band. KD&K's got a band. We have a band. They have a band. It's gonna be a big time.
Okay, anybody else have anything here? We're cruising. Kay is having her best day ever. Perfect. So again, thank you so much for your time. I think that can be something that we can put together as a committee. A pool committee is like sometimes to volunteer in specifics, because I feel like sometimes people do really well with, like you said, June 7th between 6 and 8, we need you. And then people can say yes or no. So if we can put that list together, that could be another thing to get that done. Perfect. Anything else that you had for the group, or anything else anybody has for fundraising or pool in general? Perfect. That's it. You're appreciated. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh.
Welcome to stay.
You're welcome to hang out and get some information, because the next part, the rest of it's all just kind of informational. And Eric Brenlinger, the Parks and Rec Director, is going to give us our 30, 60, 90 on Parks and Rec project reports.
Yep, so pull it up here. So I'll start with the things that just kind of happened last week. So Crystal River Restoration Project. So we had a contractor in there, landscaping contractor, and our Redoubt Restoration, who was our original contractor for all the river work and upland work in there the last 2 weeks. They have completed almost the entire planting of the entire project with the native plants and containerized plants, and the willow project. They created really a willow forest down at the river level. With all their plantings, they have then put a wildlife fencing around all that new planting to preserve it, and then put in above the ground irrigation system. And so that above the ground irrigation system will be there 2 to 3 years to get all these new plants established. And I was amazed to walk the property, and we'll do a visit in June with our park visit, meeting, because their plantings are amazing. I mean, if all these plants survive, it's going to be a jungle down there, which would be awesome, And so that's the restoration piece of that project that we hope to see come to fruition, right, in the long run. So we, so that project is really wrapping up. They are gonna have a remobilization to do some wetland plug planting, they call it. And that'll be in the first couple weeks in August. And then we are working on the interpretive signage. That's the last piece that really will finish that project. So DHM's working on not only the material for those signs but also the language for those signs. So they have that, they're putting in some good work. We hope to see that, by about midsummer, then we can, put it out to bid for fabrication and hopefully get that into the park in the fall. And so that would be a completion of the project at that time. So yeah, really excited about that. That's since 2016 that project's been going on. So it'd be really neat to see it finish up strong. So we still on Red Hill, even with our kind of public information, press releases and push, we still have no information on who kind of dismantled all of the restoration efforts up there. We have no leads. Nobody said, "Oh, I saw somebody doing this," or yeah. So it's still a really strange mystery, right? Of why somebody would do that and what the purpose of that effort was. Because it was a big effort, and big effort to put it in, and big effort to take it apart. So we are still head scratching on that one, and all the agencies that that have worked up there and have interest up there. Everybody's scratching their heads on this one. We are working with Roaring Fork Outdoor Volunteers. We have a trail crew up there. We have contracted with them for 2 visits with their trail crew over the summer. And so we might just have to, usually that trail crew is trained in trail maintenance and armoring of trails that have seen, a lot of degradation with the 70,000 people that use that space. But we might need to refocus some of their efforts or look at spending some endowment funds that we still have for the project on getting them to do some repair of that damage that's happened. So that's in conversation right now with RFOV, us, AVLT, and Red Hill Council, and also the BLM, of course, because some of that was on BLM land also. So
I saw something in there that CRMS is doing a volunteer day up there.
yeah, so they're going to be part of the May 17th effort. Yeah, so they call that their scholarship work day, and so they are volunteering their time, and that's where they'll be focused for their efforts. Yeah. Geez, what just happened there?
Have you talked with Brian about it to see if any of his runners have seen anything?
Yeah, we talked to Independence Run and Hike, because they've been up there, a couple times a week to empty the dog pots that we put up higher on the trail. Nobody's seen anything. Really strange. So we're in the process of closing out a lot of those river restoration grants too. The finance department, because went over a threshold of federal funding on the grant side. We have to do a singular audit right now. And so what the singular audit means is that all those grants that were spent in, awarded and spent in 2023 has to go through a very detailed audit of each one of those grants. So we've been putting together all that information, and it's beneficial in the sense that we need all that information to close out the grants anyways. But it's taken up a crazy amount of time to pull all those grants, the 6 different sources together for the paperwork that the auditors need. So it's in process though, and it's starting to look pretty good. It was a daunting task to stare at first, but it's starting to come together. So we're happy about that. Our CIRSA audit, has been complete. So CIRSA comes in and evaluates all of our public facilities. They give us a list with pictures of the things that we need to fix. And so we've spent a lot of time in the last month doing that and fixing the things that they saw needed repair. And so that was just complete. And we just did a safety meeting at some of those facilities too with our town safety committee and to see the repairs that are happening. Right now, the one repair that's happening is out at the RV park. They're replacing that shingled roof, that old wood shingled roof. That was a fire hazard. And so we're replacing it with a metal seam roof. So that's taking place right now. Let's see what else we got for you. Have you guys seen the dog park signage? It's all up.
Oh, everybody loves it. I've been getting such great feedback every time I'm there. Everybody looks at it, they're like, oh yeah, I totally noticed that. They said that the kind of whimsical photos kind of captured their attention, and most people, pretty much anybody that I asked has noticed them and does like them. So
Okay.
all positive at both, yep, those are the ones that I've seen it. So yeah, everybody's liked it.
They look great.
They're super visible. Yep.
You did good.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. You guys are a big part of that process, so that was good. Thanks for your patience. It takes a while to just make some signs,
Didn't realize how often I'd be looking at them every time I drive down my street. Yeah, they're great.
Okay, and I think that's kind of wrapping up.
Do you have an update on that art park? I've driven by and it looks like it's got some progress.
Yeah, so we need to close out that grant by June 30th. So and they're going to close out what they'll call phase 1. So it's not going to be complete, but yeah, it looks like we're going to be able to close it out. So that's.
Will it be open to the public at all this summer as people are driving by?
Not sure.
Yeah.
So I mean that's what they're trying to get done, but we'll have to assess it after they get done with that phase 1 process and see if it's available. So we are going to, I forgot to mention that on the Crystal River Restoration Project, we're doing a soft opening, non publicized in that sense of a press release, and all that stuff. Because right now we did an assessment down there. There is above the ground irrigation system. There's a lot of zones there that you don't want people to go because it's newly, freshly planted. So we're signing it. We're making sure there's no, objective hazards, and then we'll be able to just open it to the public as a soft opening. So,
Are we invited?
It looks, what
He laughs, but he
what
didn't.
more
say
is
yes.
happening? It looks so close. We're talking the art park still, right?
No.
Oh, sorry.
oh,
The
sorry, I went
restoration
back
park.
to the restoration. I forgot.
Oh,
to tell you
okay,
about that opening. So,
Yeah. So when is that opening at the river?
hopefully next Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, if we get the work done, the signage, there's to hold up their wildlife fencing, they have T-posts that are, angled. So we have to put cappers on those and, paint them and stuff to make sure it's safe. But
At one of the campaign events I went to at RVR, there were a lot of comments about the Riverside Park and concern that if you build it, they will come. And there's gonna be a whole lot more usage there. Which also speaks to lack of parking there. There are really only spots for about 6 cars out there. Anyway, that was a thought from the RVR people.
And we've discussed
Did I
that,
talk to
right?
him?
We just said that most people that will be using it will be hopefully biking or coming in from different locations. And that kind of helps with that
right.
usage.
But
too.
again, to signage and for the RVR environment, there is, I definitely pick up a sense when I'm out there that people think the parks are for them. They don't think they're for all of town. And there was some undercurrent of, why are we taking care of Carbondale's parks? It's like a lot of people don't know the history of all these agreements that established the PUD for the whole thing. There's also a,
Is there a flyer that we could just send out to, I mean, like a door to door, quick, like, thank you so much, the parks look great, or that way they know a little bit of something.
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe next time they do something at one of the parks, because I know they just did Triangle and Orchard. But, so I don't know if there's
Well-
anything new that they're doing, but we could send out a thank you.
We had received some feedback, John, you were part of that, you know, that a lot of people don't know that those tennis courts in Triangle Park, you know, are public. You know,
Right.
public tennis, not part of RVR, that's a
Mhm.
public park. So we just, we put up some little signs, and then John, have you seen the big sign now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks good
Yeah,
too.
we put up the big sign saying public tennis courts, you know, and so just to reiterate that, you know, that fact.
Can I
So,
say Town of Carbondale?
nope, just says public tennis courts.
Logo.
There's our logo on it. It's our kind of regular park signage, you know, that we put in our other parks, so it has that branding of, oh, it looks like the sign from all the other parks in town.
And Susan, maybe we could, or we could get with the HOA for their next newsletter, and they could, even if we're not doing a door to door, maybe they could do a blurb in their next newsletter. So that the information is at least been put out there, so people have it, the town.
Maybe we should also revisit the entire agreement we had with them way back in 1990 something, you know, to where those are public parks, and that's the reason they were able to, you know, do their development there, because all the new developments need to chip into the park inventory. And they probably got a lot of new people there that don't realize the past history of it. And
Yeah.
so just a little
Put that part in the blurb even.
historical review of.
You have this PUD, you have this whole PUD here. Because there were these agreements, you had to make a parks donation one way or another, and that's the way it happened.
Yeah, and you know, it's in perpetuity that they are in charge of the maintenance of those specific parks that were part of that PUD too, so. And that's been vetted many times with different, you know, boards at RVR and stuff through that process to reiterate that to
The
them.
highest level HOA fees out there are getting pretty high. They've got a lot that they maintain out there, and there's some expensive goings on. And I didn't know it either. There was a big deal about the golf course is a separate entity out there. It's private, and it's been sold and it's not making money. And there was apparently a request to the trustees to change and allow them to put in a boutique hotel or something at the driving range area where the sledding hill is.
That's been shut down for quite a while.
Yeah, it got shut down, and it was, you know, again, that's not part of your PUD, and, well, they were asking our opinions of it as potential trustees. And the discussion was around, the legality is their board their membership has to vote 50% to change the PUD. The trustees can't do anything to override their PUD, which is, as I understood it, maybe you know more, as I understood it, where it went back to. But the golf course is again kind of in concern. For sale. It's for sale.
Again?
They're looking for the, I
Even
didn't
though
know
they
how-
just
I didn't know how
bought it?
public it is, but so they're quietly searching for another buyer for that whole golf course. So there was a lot of concern about whether town would want to build affordable housing along the golf course or build a public trail along the whole golf, along the riverside through all of RVR. And doing this riverside part, there was that kind of concern was coming out.
They'll
What was
never
that?
go for that.
She has some
In our historical,
off
re-
minutes comments.
Oh.
in our historical review for them, when we put it to their board or whatever, we probably ought to remind them that they're part of the town too. And it's not their keeping, maintaining Carbondale's, I mean, that's town parks and they're part of the town, so it's their park too. For everybody to enjoy.
I think a well-informed person is a happier person generally, so if we can just send out a little short information so we make sure we're welcoming them or thank you or whatever, thanking and pleasant and those kind of things so that people know that they're a part of the town and thank them for their stewardship of the parks and
Yeah, and remind them that
it's
their
a
donations to the pool
collaboration.
or more than welcome.
Here's the QR code. If you want to get all these other extras out of your pool, they can come to our pool. It'll be nicer if you help us
This,
with that.
this is their pool too.
Perfect. Eric, anything else? I wanted to say the Red Hill restrooms could use a little extra
two
love here and there. It was literally brimming yesterday. So that was the
Yeah,
one
in the winter, we do
weekly or something, but
well, we
it's-
do a two visit up there, but we'll go to 3. Yeah.
it is time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's happening. Is this the season for Red Hill?
So what
Sure is.
happens next week is the ditches turn on, they give them a week to run and clean, and then we look at the temperatures, and then we open the bathrooms when the temperatures.
But
are-
Red Hill didn't
are
have
below.
bathroom.
No, but then we pull all the porta potties from all the park bathrooms at the same time we
Right.
open the bathroom. So that's what's happening the 22nd that week, so.
Perfect. Anybody else have anything to say about
I
36
forgot to tell
90?
you Chaco's Park and where that sits. So, all that data that was collected through all the outreach and public meetings, and the steering committee is being put into a preferred design document. And so that's gonna come back to the Parks and Rec at the May meeting. Then it will go to a trustee work session, after that. And then hopefully after that work session, any changes, need to be made, will be made and then to the trustees for approval. So on their last meeting in May. So that's the process there, so you know.
And we got ahead of it with our meeting and then their meeting versus the other way around. So that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yay.
Yes, the sequence is right.
The sequencing is correct for this one. Perfect.
That's it for me.
Eric, I had one more question. Is it what's in the budget for replacing permanent bathrooms, Genetti bathroom, that sort of thing?
Oh, I've been on that.
Yeah, so
I see
that's, that was also one of our Sursa dings,
Mhm,
was
yeah.
the Giannetti bathroom and non-ADA compliance, and also structurally, it's seen its day. And so that's on our 5-year capital improvement plan, but not till after the pool.
Oh, I thought you had put it in last year and you didn't have enough, but you were gonna put it in again this year
Yep,
and we
it
could combine it.
Didn't get in this year because of the pool project. We had to do some priority use of funding. Yep. And so it's stalled out a little bit, but it is priority 1 in that 5-year capital improvement plan after the pool.
Which is 2025. It'll be put into the budget.
So summer
2026.
No, we hope, hopefully it can be in the 25 budget. Yeah.
Which is the one that would be prepared for in August, September this year.
It's coming.
So in this next year's budget, it would be put in, should be installed in 20.
Right, because then we'll know a lot about our fund balance. We'll know a lot about, the rec sales and use tax fund balance, what that looks like. We'll know, what the pool is costing us. What we won't know is operational, from the pool yet. And so we do need to be careful about our fund balance, with that. So that would be the one that would push it potentially to the next year's budget.
Because I would say that was the other thing I heard the most about in the trustee campaigns was bad bathrooms in our parks.
Yep.
That one and North Face pickleball also.
Yep. Yep.
And
We
yeah,
know that one.
Perfect. Anyone else? Any opinions? For this? Alright, perfect. And we're turning that on and we're gonna say, Margaret, it is time for you to give us a Parks and Rec Commission, Parks and Rec update.
We had a youth trip for Get Air over to Grand Junction, which was successful. We tried 2 senior trips and they were both canceled for lack of participation, but the Palisade Wine Tour is currently full. And we went ahead and we're updating the senior contact list and also soliciting feedback directly from them of what they would actually like to do. We had 2 special events. We had the Peeps, which the feedback on that seemed like it was good. So we're gonna probably do that again next year, but we'll add more eggs and maybe more locations this time. And then we had Spring into Wellness, which was well attended for about an hour, hour and a half. We use climbing as ongoing. Adult volleyball should be finishing out at the end of this month. It is dragging on forever because we had a lot of special events. And then they took some holidays off as well this time. Youth summer programs are all open for registration. We have coming up, we have another bananas field trip to Grand Junction. We also have 5 Point. The RV park will open and we will also have some stuff at Family Block Party. And then just slightly after our next Parks and Rec meeting, we have the bike rodeo May 13th and 15th. And then we're working on Dandelion Day with Quinn right now. So if you would like to volunteer for the bike rodeo on May 13th, that's 4 to 6 p.m. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
4 to 6 p.m. And and I'm gonna be gone.
And hopefully we can have it outside unless.
Yes.
Last year was, the rain.
We got rained out. We set everything up and then had to move it last minute in the gym and I think had 9 participants when we normally have 30 plus participants. So we have different stations and you can stand at a station and direct kids through and they do bike helmet fittings and bike decorations and all of that fun stuff.
Maybe that's important to add to the ad for it, that it'll be inside if it rains.
Yeah, it did work inside, but it wouldn't have worked if we had
A lot.
a lot of kids, so we're not sure what to do, yeah.
And we
Yeah,
put that
hopefully
out,
weather
we
be
did put that out there on the advertisements last year too, that the alternative location is inside. I think it's more people just don't want to go out in it because people want to walk to it and ride to it. And it was a downpour.
Margaret, if you want any push on advertising, send me all the details and I'll put it in all of our monthly newsletters,
Great.
so.
Yeah,
Great.
that would work.
shout.
Do we want that many kids over?
Yes.
It was a hoot. I volunteered last year.
That'd be
It was a
fun.
hoot. I
That'd
won't
be
be
fun.
here this year.
Oh, and we're not doing the timing system for 5.5K, so I don't need to. Thank you.
I definitely missed the scavenger hunt and a lot of people did. It was cute and it was really cold, so I was glad I was not out in like whatever, but I definitely like the standard, let's run around, the get together as a community. I mean, I was out a lot and I saw like the sporadic people looking around, but there's something really special about being dressed up like a bunny with a bunch of little chicks and all the community aspects of those set
Yeah.
community efforts. And I know it's a ton of work, but
We're gonna try and figure out how to potentially incorporate some stuff. I was actually going through a bunch of the photos from the last couple of years. So it is a special event and we do like it. But what we talked about doing, just because it's a holiday, is we're trying to get things back off of holidays for all of the staff. But maybe potentially put it on a different time. Maybe we were thinking of something like a back to school scavenger hunt, when people are all back, the schools, or like the weekend after the school opens, because people aren't traveling, and doing something along those lines, just an arbitrary random date to continue it, but to celebrate something different. We'll figure out something.
It's a Carbondale event, you can always dress up.
here for it. And did you speak to the last First Friday event, the wellness one? Sorry if
Yeah.
I zoned that one for a sec.
Yeah. It just,
Did you feel like it was a success or I felt like it was kind of hard to find, I find going inside, I think some people didn't know where it was or, oh, I didn't know what was going on.
so it's been the same location for over 10 years now.
Okay,
So, and we put the sandwich board, and Kat was supposed to be out on the sidewalk over there directing people. Most of the feedback for First Friday was just they wanted the street closure.
yeah,
instead.
agreed.
I would say that the biggest spring into wellness was last year. I think we had over 45 vendors, and it just felt full almost the entire time. The vendors that we all talked to thought it was a good event, and they still like it. So we'll continue to do it. 'cause
I liked it. I
it's
liked it.
well intended. And if you want a prize, don't forget to pick it up.
If I didn't get a call, I probably didn't win a prize, what you're saying.
I think somebody in your family won one.
Cool.
It was over the travel time for the eclipse, so.
True. It was amazing, though. It was so cool. I love the diversity of vendors that you had because it was anything from cancer treatments with natural ingredients to local fitness centers to doctors to, I love the diversity, so.
Yeah,
thank you
the
for that.
vet put together a good package for
They
the
did.
dogs, and there's somebody else put a really good package together, so,
The fencers, my kids were all into the fencing. That was really neat.
yeah.
Perfect. Luis is not here. Did he give us any updates before he left on, I guess as Parks and Rec Commission members, anybody have anything to add? Announce historical information?
I got a question back for, the rec for Margaret, and Eric, have we found a tennis instructor yet for the juniors? Are we gonna offer that, or are we looking, or? is-
Will's still looking. We've been recruiting. We thought that we had a lead with Alex, who is up Valley with is it the Cascade Tennis? And so we got together, we kind of worked through it, and then his instructors all fell through for this year, but we're gonna try again for next year. To get that up and running for both pickleball and tennis, because he has instructors for both. And then so one of his instructors did get back to us, and so we will be utilizing him this summer for something along those lines. But we're still on the hunt for one.
Okay.
Anybody else? Going once? Anybody have anything else they want to say about making any motions? To adjourn the meeting?
Well, I'll make a motion that we adjourn early.
Kay's so happy. We love you, Kay. Second, anyone?
I'll second.
Eli to second, all in favor? All right, thanks.
My